So what would you say then to people out there now who are thinking, should I buy, should I not? What's your advice? You know, is now the time to get in?
It depends what you're buying. Like, you can still get burnt even in this market if you buy rubbish. I mean, we bought our Noosa example. The average price per apartment that we paid was $170,000, and these are penthouse apartments with sea views in Noosa. And I know the Sunshine Coast is a horrible market at the moment; it's gone down a lot, but these were originally sold for sort of 400 to 500 and something thousand. So even if it goes down another 10%, it's going to go down 10% from the sort of 300-ish that they're really worth now. We're not going to lose money on our 170. So I think you need to buy well if you're going to buy in this market. I don't think there's any great rush. I think it's okay to take your time. I mean, that's what I love about this market, because my negotiation style is really slow. I'm negotiating on a building up the road that I have been negotiating on since January 2010.
That's nearly 2 years.
I know. And we're getting there.
Okay.
And I am going to end up with this building.
Is that something though, because I know I tend to go, oh, I just want to get it, I'll pay a bit more. Do you just hold out and think?
Yeah, see, if you grew up in the boom, then you grew up with that kind of mindset, because it's like, buy it now or someone else is going to grab it.
Yes.
And that's gone at the moment. It'll come back, but you don't have to do that. Whereas for me, I would make a silly offer. They'd say, no, go away. I'd go away. They'd ring me back a month later and go, are you still interested? And so you can just, it's a dance. You can do the dance now.
Yeah.
So there is absolutely no panic, and there are, you know, for every 19 people that are offended that you've made a low offer, there's one person who's grateful that they've got that money and it can solve their problem. Like me, selling my block of land for 25,000. You know, and it was worth 40 something, but I was happy.
You needed that.
I needed the money, so you just need to find the person like me and buy off them.
So tell me, I mean, lots of things have gone your way, even though it sort of started out haphazardly. It's worked out for you, but are there any mistakes you've made or properties you've lost money on?
Loads. What have I've only lost money on a couple of properties. One was a renovation that I did with friends, and that was actually, the two that I've lost money on are both ones that I've done from the heart, not the head, interestingly.
Yes.
One was a renovation that I did with friends, and we didn't buy well and we didn't control our budget, and we lost money on that. The other one was a beach house that I bought at the peak of the boom because I fell in love with it, and it's probably come down, it's on the beachfront, so it's a lovely spot, but it's probably worth 15% less than what I paid for it.
Yeah.
But you know, I'll just sit there and it's beachfront, it'll come back eventually. So yeah, but that one was, I was not in the market for something. I just drove down this road and saw this house on this amazing piece of land with this amazing view and just went, I have to have that. Actually, the other one that we temporarily lost money on was my sister and I bought a house for our parents to live in because they grew up in the country town where we did, and houses weren't worth very much there. And when they wanted to retire, they've got good pension, teaching pension, but they didn't have a lot of capital. So my sister and I said, well, we'll buy you a house on the beach and it'll be an investment for us, and you know, you can live there. And so my mother, being the investor that she is, went and knocked on the doors of all the houses that she liked and said, we really want your house, we'll pay anything for it. Oh, Mum, don't. So we ended up paying about 20% above valuation for this darn house. But it's gone up since then. That's good. So the market has erased our foolishness. And I think eventually the market will erase most people's foolishness if they hold on for long enough.
So is that the key, holding on for a long time?
Well, and I think the key is not buying foolishly in the first place.
Yes.
But if you do buy foolishly and you can afford to hold, I think the other thing though is that sometimes you're just better to cut your losses. Yeah. So sometimes, I was talking to a friend of mine the other day, she's got about 5 houses that she bought sort of during the boom. I don't know exactly what the numbers are. Say she paid $350,000 for them each, and she spent time and effort on renovating them, and they went up, and now they've come down a bit, and now they're worth maybe $400 each. And they're not in great areas. They're probably not going to go up again in a great hurry. And she's saying, well, I can't sell them because they cost me more than $400 by the time you count all my labour and all the effort. So she said, I'm just going to have to sit on them. And I said, well, that's fine, but they're all heavily negatively geared. So they're all costing her a lot of money to hold. So I think we worked out it's about $40,000 a year that's costing her to hold them. So I said, you're really gambling on the fact that these houses are going to go up by more than $40,000 a year. Say over the next 5 years that they're going to go up by $200,000, which they may or may not. And then she said, well, the problem is I'm really struggling to pay that $40,000 a year. And I said, well, then sell them, because you're damaging your current lifestyle in the hope of a possible future gain. You may as well sell them and put 20 of that 40 each year into another investment.
That's
actually going to do better. Yeah, which is a hard thing. It's that whole sunk cost thing, you know, that people go, but I've spent the money, I can't afford it. It's like, well, it's gone now, honey. You may as well not keep throwing more at it.
All right. Well, look, thank you so much for your time, Melanie.
No, you're welcome.
Do you have any other, parting words that you want to say to people? Just go ahead and buy, or what's your one piece of advice?
Yeah, good question.
It's a tough question.
That is a hard question, isn't it? I would say that it would be make sure it's fun. You know, that if you are like my friend and it's costing you $40,000 a year to hold your investment properties and you're having to eat baked beans, then you need to stop and regroup and think again about what you're doing. But there is an opportunity. We had a lot of fun paying 30 cents in the dollar for our new stuff. So I think that an investment thing is important, but the older and wiser I get, I guess, having a life is important as well. And you don't have to sleep on a mattress on the floor. You don't have to eat baked beans. You can still do this stuff and have some fun along the way.
Look, thank you so much. Pleasure talking to you.
You're welcome. Thank you.